Welcome to the Books, Beards, Booze podcast, where we talk books, drink booze, and have beards.
All right. As always, I am Bob of Tales by Bob.
I'm the ass of the podcast, Derek.
I'm not coroned.
Are we sure?
I'm not. I'm creative consultant Tanya. I need a new name. I can't think of anything else.
Not Coroned Tanya.
I was going to have it my title change every time, but then I thought that was a lot of work.
Creative Coroned Tanya.
See, and that's why you were always a consultant and never a full part of this organization.
I'm kind of with it, though.
Because you were just like, I'm not feeling the full-time work.
Independent contractor, 1099 Tanya.
That would imply.
Are you worth
that would imply we
$10.99?
get paid.
Ooh.
No, 1099 is the
I know.
independent contractor form.
No, I got you.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah. Freelance, because you don't get paid.
with an emphasis on the free.
On the free.
Free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm Tanya.
Guys.
It's me.
Guys, it's good to be back.
Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, it's been a
Is
minute.
it though?
We
Is-
took pretty much 3 months off.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to be out of my quarantine and we're maintaining. Hey, stretch your arms out. Oh,
No.
we're not maintaining our social distancing, Derek.
I'm gonna need you to calm down with this social distancing
Bob and
shit.
I are far
don't
enough
give
apart.
a
You're not. You and I
fuck.
aren't 6 feet apart.
I don't care.
Oh, this is why we all die, Derek.
Well,
because you
know
don't
what?
care.
Tanya, we're grown ass folk that ain't
Those
got.
are the people who die,
No,
Derek.
No,
Grown folks.
You know what? You're right. I completely forgot that Tanya's old as fuck.
She is.
That's why I'm trying to maintain my social
Okay.
distancing.
Makes so much more sense. I was just like, I'm 30.
Oh no,
Like,
I texted her like a week or so ago. I was like, so are you like really worried because it kills old people?
I didn't
Yeah.
respond, and he's like, "Okay, wait, but are you dead?"
Are you dead? Yeah. I mean, that would be my concern. That would be my immediate thought. Then I would think,
Yeah.
oh, is her cat eating her like she always wanted?
That's the dream, Derek.
I know. That's what I
Yeah.
was saying.
Sherbert, though, I think would just stand on my bloating body and scream in my face. Just meow, meow. Yes. I think, like, she would step on me at one point. Her foot's gonna go through like my
And she's
chest.
like, oh, I guess
cavity.
this means walk away.
And then she's gonna like do that weird cat flick their feet where they try to like shake the water off. It's gonna be like shaking my body goo. This is taking a turn. I've been in quarantine for too long. Help me.
It's been 3 days.
3 long days.
Tanya,
Derek.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
I exist in a constant state of quarantine. Y'all don't hear me
Yeah,
bitching.
Derek's life hasn't changed.
Yeah, it really hasn't.
Your life hasn't changed either. You just think it has.
Well, your entire existence is mental, man.
Yeah.
Okay, guy.
I have had so many plans get canceled.
Well, it's because you tried to do too much, Bob.
I was supposed to go to the Shakespeare. I had tickets for the Shakespeare Festival Thursday night. That got canceled.
Is
Beer
Shakespeare
Fest-
Festival, like,
No,
can you
there's-
still go and walk in the
Big
park?
park.
You can go walk
Yeah.
in the park.
That's what I was,
Yeah.
because that was my concern, because I've got,
Yeah.
okay.
Can't go to the zoo. I'm disappointed about that. We went to the Birmingham
gathering,
Zoo.
Yeah. Well, you got that in before
I
everything,
did,
so that's
because
good.
they closed on. We went on Friday and they closed on that subsequent Sunday. But like all the other things that we do closed, even though it's like outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
But
Well, other than not dying of corona, what's been new, guys? What's the happy haps? I mean, people, our listeners. I gotta say, people have still been listening, even though we haven't been active. Like we're still getting downloads.
I've been getting asked when
Yeah.
When you
When
go back,
episodes are
what are you
gonna
doing?
come out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
basically. And then
hey.
I referenced that I was doing this, and I can
Yeah.
neither confirm nor deny that someone was like, have you been coming out with episodes that you didn't tell me about? I was like, no, this would be the first
Yeah,
one.
no, the first
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
this is us. We're back.
Yeah. So people care. People
know.
want to know about our lives.
Well, I mean, not mine,
I
but-
had an eventful time.
Oh, yeah?
I released
Oh, fuck.
a number 1 rated book.
You did. It was
I
the
did.
number 1 book on
It
Amazon.
was number 1 on Amazon for
what did it beat
about
out?
3
What was
days.
number 2, Bob?
Other books.
A book on how to become a nurse.
Yeah, and so you were real proud about
Like,
beating that.
Yeah, beat them nurses.
Especially now, considering current situation. Good job, Bob.
It was a good time. But yeah, no, I was the number 1 free book in the Curiosities and Wonderment category on Amazon
Nice.
for my book, The Essential Guidebook to the Secret Lives of Clams.
C is for clam hat. That's what I think about that retarded animal
my
babies.
God.
Like A is for ass, B is for ball, C is for clam hat.
Wow.
Throwback
I'm
to
throwing-
the old
That is a-
internet.
that
I'm
is
throwing
some-
you back in quarantine.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, no. So I had that. Yeah, number 1. Yeah,
Neat, neat,
number 1.
neat.
Number 1 best not seller because it was free, but number one
People,
download.
but,
Hey, people were
download it,
downloading.
yeah.
There have been plenty
Yeah.
of free books that I have not downloaded on Amazon.
yeah.
So
100% accurate.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
I
I've
don't-
downloaded that one for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't plugged in my Kindle to
It's
receive
now
the book.
and it's now available in print. You can
Yep.
buy a copy, print copy.
Couple of them
Seen-
sitting on the.
seen it on your
Yeah,
coffee table.
$7. $7. $7. Mediocrely spent.
I mean,
you-
you're gonna spend more than that in like Waiter and Grubhub fees right now.
Yeah.
Might as well get a book.
Yeah.
Accurate.
It'll take about 10 days. It's Prime eligible, but they have to print it. It's print on demand books. So you're not going to get it in 2 days, but you weren't going to get it in 2 days anyway because it's not a needed medical supply. And Amazon
And
is.
how dare Amazon decide what's an essential thing and what's not? I need my iPhone 4 charger in 2 days because I threw my other one away and I need it.
You did what
Tighten
now? You threw your. Did
'Cause-
you really?
Yeah, because I don't use an iPhone 4 anymore, but the tiny tyrant has found my iPhone that I don't use anymore, and he's
Use it
very
for
excited.
gaming?
Well, he can't get apps because I'm iCloud locked, but he can take pictures
Oh.
and use the timer, and we're very excited to set a timer for fucking everything. But I don't have a charger for an iPhone
Oh
4.
no! So you don't have a
hate that.
charger for that thing that makes noise
Oh,
endlessly.
shit.
Oh.
Okay, but hear me out. I'm gonna substitute the thing that makes noise for the tiny human who's gonna make the noise because.
But I feel like they're
the thing
both
doesn't
gonna
make
still
noise.
happen.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
You can wait. It's not essential.
All right. So what have you been up to?
I've been quarantined. Like,
Yeah?
I.
Well,
haven't-
you live in a state of quarantine, Derek.
Well, yeah, no, yes, but no. Like I've been having to work from home. Like
Yeah.
our office shut down. So dude. By the way, anybody that's ever if I ever in my life again say, man, it'd be pretty sweet to work from home.
No.
I want you to slap me as
It's
hard
awful.
as you possibly can in the head.
Why do you
It
want to
is
do work in your place that you don't do work?
miserable.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's awful. I don't have.
I saw
oh.
a tip that was for married couples that are now working at home.
Mm-hmm.
You make up an invisible coworker that works there with
Fucking Carol and her tuna fish sandwiches.
you. Yeah, and you blame her for stuff to relieve the tension. It's like, oh God, man, Carol, she never picks up after herself.
That's
So,
fair.
Yeah.
But I haven't had to deal with that. I just have to deal with. I don't have my 2 monitors that I need to feel like I'm effectively doing my job,
Yeah.
and I'm only working with my laptop, which is a tiny fucking screen.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait.
it's so bad.
Could you
can't.
purchase another monitor and write it on your taxes as a business expense?
Could I? Yes, but I've already paid my taxes
Okay, well,
for this.
spoiler,
It'd be
you
for
pay
next-
them
you-
every
I-
year.
I know,
Yeah.
but I don't want to.
I actually don't know if he could because it's not his.
Yeah, it's not my business,
It's not his
but I
business. He can't use a business.
But you have a home
In-
office right now.
Well,
yeah,
no, because it's tricky on home offices. You actually have to have as a guy who has a home office, you have to have a dedicated space that is clearly delineated as a home office.
Well, I could do that now. I got those empty rooms.
Well, yeah, you could. No, and you should. You really should do that.
I've been thinking about because I've got.
You should.
Yeah,
Derek,
that's what
Derek,
I'm doing.
Become a grant writer.
Freelance
Freelance grant writer.
That is we'll talk about that off
Okay.
air, but
All right.
yeah.
When you make your millions,
Mm-hmm.
that was my idea. Pay me.
Well, I don't think that's how that works, but I do like you, so if I make millions, then we're gonna hang out more. So
I
Not
spent
you, 'cause you
I
hate
spent
everybody.
January sick, all of it but one day. May have had the corona. Don't know. Could be. Who knows? It was.
I'm just going to assume we've all had the corona.
Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah.
I was sick. Took antibiotics. Still didn't nip it in the bud. Lingered.
Oh, Bob,
lingered for weeks.
did you take antibiotics after you went to a doctor, or did you just take a stash of antibiotics because you had a sniffle and you just assuming that antibiotics would fix that thing?
It was antibiotics that were prescribed.
Okay.
oh
Okay,
snap!
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shows how much you know.
I
You're
haven't
out of
talked
the
to you
loop.
guys in
out
some
of
time.
the loop.
Simmer down.
Oh,
Simmer down.
hey Bob, do you hear that? She hasn't
I've
talked
just
to us
never-
in months.
He hasn't
What was
really
that?
been
That's
a
super
going
weird.
to the doctor kind of person.
Well,
Well, when
things-
you're sick for a month,
well,
you have to do things.
Tanya, things change, and if you kept up with your friends, you'd know that.
Jesus.
Did you know I eat apples? Yeah.
See, Derek, I knew he ate apples.
You know what? I was going to say something really offensive, and now I'm not. You've had his apples in your mouth. Of course you know that.
Oh.
He delicately placed his apples on my eyeballs and loves to tell people
Oh, that's a
about
good point.
it.
Good
Could we,
point.
could we
Good-
not? Could we not? Could we not? All right. I have started. I put out some new shirts.
What the fuck even is this episode?
Put out some new shirts.
Amazing
I
so far.
like the 2 new shirts that you've got
Yeah.
out.
The BDSM.
Yeah,
one?
one is
Yeah.
like
I like role playing or something.
yeah, one is
that.
like I'm into role playing, mostly spellcasters, and then the other one's like I'm into BDSM, and then below that in parentheses is buying dice and slaying monsters.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got a
Good shirt.
D20 on it.
I thought they were clever.
Yeah, I also haven't sold any yet, but I think this is fucking clever. Dorian Gray photography is a shirt I released. Picture of Dorian Gray.
Portrait, but yeah, love that. Love that.
Yeah. So anyway, so yeah, did y'all do anything else? Anything else to report? Anything new? Anything exciting?
I acquired a tiny human.
Yeah.
A large human and then a tiny human.
Oh, yeah. You
accompaniment.
acquired a tiny human. Derek acquired a girlfriend, and I acquired a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So,
I'm
yeah.
not. Let's clarify that I'm not dating the tiny human. I'm dating a
Well-
full-fledged adult who comes accompanied with a tiny
How
human.
tall is he?
5'10",
Okay. All right.
appropriately man-sized.
Okay. No, when I met him, he was sitting down, so I couldn't tell.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh, you've
What if-
met him?
yeah.
Oh, you've met. Oh, okay, cool.
What if he had
Yeah.
been? If he'd been like 5'4"? I mean, no, not I want to judge
Nope.
him, but then I could say that you were dating a tiny human.
Yeah, but no, he's an
Appropriately
Well,
sized.
appropriately
to be
sized.
fair, if he's that height, if it was Anthony, we'd still call him a tiny human.
Oh yeah.
So,
No. Well, I mean, Anthony's only like 5'7".
Oh God, Anthony. Okay, so this whole Corona thing, right? So couldn't find shit paper, and he had shit paper, and I was like, bro, I need toilet paper, and he's like, I need rubbing alcohol because he does 3D printing. So we traded toilet paper for rubbing alcohol. and
Let's see.
I would have
Apocalypse
literally would
economy.
just gave you.
I was
some,
wondering
but-
when you told me that, and I was wondering why does he need rubbing? Who uses fucking rubbing alcohol?
Yeah, it's for 3D printing or whatever.
Oh, good, because he's 3D printing stuff for me. So yes, I'm glad you did
Yeah.
that.
Well, I actually have the rubbing alcohol
Got
at my
that too.
house, and he's like, "You're going over to Bob's today," and I was like, "Yeah, but I don't have your alcohol with me." He's like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "You didn't. The cookout was canceled because of the Ronas, and I
Yeah.
didn't bring it with me." But, and then I traded some toilet paper for eggs, so I felt like I'm really prepared for this like barter society. I needed eggs, man,
It's not that hard.
and I bought extra toilet paper, not extra, just like 1 6-pack more than what I normally would have, so I could have it for bartering.
God, y'all are
It's
fucking.
smart.
I'm cheering on the collapse of society. Bring it on. Also, don't, because I like the convenience.
Yeah, I like hot water.
Yeah, yeah. I like when people say things like that, and then I look at them and like, oh, you're full of shit.
Oh yeah, anytime
so.
anyone's like, "Oh man, I wish I was.
Yeah, get the
I should have
fuck
been. I
outta
should have been
here.
alive in
You're
medieval
so
times."
fucking
Really,
dumb.
really.
Shut up. Get outta
oh yeah,
here. I'm so
yeah.
done
Go
with that
go
shit.
die of
Dysentery,
sniffles.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's get on topic, I guess.
All right. So
This is the topic.
our sponsor this week, as always, is the Elderon Tales.
Yeah.
This week's episode is brought to you by the Elderon Tales, an exceptional D&D experience that you won't want to miss out on. The Elderon Tales are a collection of stories happening simultaneously inside a vast fantasy landscape filled with undead horrors, elemental phoenixes, and warring nations. Go to ILDERON Tales.com to follow along with their 4 interconnected campaigns or find them on YouTube directly. You're quarantining right now. You have all the fucking time in the world to go watch this shit. It's good shit. Go watch it.
You're going to get tired of watching Netflix and Hulu.
Yeah.
Unless you're watching 100 Humans, you should watch 100 Humans.
Who has time to watch
I'm watching
shows?
the Great British Bake Show.
Oh my god, it's so
good!
good!
Oh, I love it.
Nerd out.
I'm just watching anime, like all the anime.
Oh,
the
man.
anime.
Great British Bake Show. I've seen season 1, the most recent season, and I'm on season 6 now.
We've been watching Kitchen Nightmares.
Have you watched
Cutthroat
Zumbo's?
Kitchen.
You need-
Zumbo's
Oh,
sweet
yeah, I've seen all
desserts,
that.
just
Yeah,
desserts.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. Been watching a lot of those cooking shows. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Been working my way through that.
Yeah.
Grace,
I'm still working my way through Doctor Who.
Grace and Frankie is a pretty good show on Netflix.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're gonna run out of Netflix and Hulu stuff. Go
Yeah,
go to
go
YouTube,
Elderon
watch
Tales.
Elderon Tales.
Yeah. All right.
Stop looking at us like that, Derek.
Derek cutting eyes. Next time you see Chris and Amanda, they're big on Great British Bake Show as well.
Yeah.
So,
Which
so
will be
news.
probably, what, 3-4 months from now?
Yeah, probably. So,
Probably.
news.
She works in healthcare and has a baby. I don't want to get the Ronas or give them.
We
the
were
Ronas.
there playing D&D last night,
Yeah.
and she was coming home, and she was like on the phone with Chris, like, they need to go. She's like, because I got to come inside and get naked. Like, she just
Yeah,
strips down
drip.
in the garage,
Yeah,
apparently.
yeah. That
'cause
way, she just
yeah.
bring her clothes in the house.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah. So, all right. News.
Do
you remember-
I
Yeah.
miss it.
Do you remember the embargo that Macmillan put on libraries
Yeah,
for
no,
ebooks?
you can't have our books.
For 8 weeks kind
Yeah.
of deal? Yeah. So, Macmillan has buckled like a bunch of bitches.
Fuck.
Fuck Macmillan. So here it is.
Wait,
One
why are
of-
we upset about that? You like
No,
they,
But
no, we're
just
like-
because they wanted to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
well, they
So-
came around. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, so one of the big 5 U.S. publishers walked back its 8-week delay on licensing new ebook releases to libraries. There are times in life when differences must be put aside, Macmillan CEO John Sargent wrote in a memo to librarians obtained by Publishers Weekly, where I got this. Effective on Monday, or whenever thereafter our wholesalers can effect the change, Macmillan will return to the library ebook pricing model that was in effect on October 31st, 2019. In addition, we will be lowering some ebook prices on a short-term basis to help expand libraries' collections in these difficult times. Stay safe. You know what? Here's Bob's conspiracy theory hot take.
Oh
Hit
my
us with
god!
it.
Thank
No.
you. I'm so excited. I get
This
more
one's not-
conspiracy theories.
This one's not crazy. So when this
And
happened,
it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just
the,
I think this was
a lot of libraries started trying to get legislation enacted that would prevent stuff like this, saying like equal access,
right.
you're penalizing, da 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 da. And so I think Macmillan was like, "Oh shit, we need to repeal this to kind of nip that
Yeah.
legislation in the bud." That's my thought. And then, but this was the perfect time. They're not backing off because it was stupid.
They just needed an excuse to backtrack.
The corona. So yeah, that was a little news update for y'all.
I have a thing if I can find it. I
Okay.
had it, but
Yeah.
you can keep talking. I'm trying to find the thing.
So
I
my
should've
thing
bookmarked
is-
it.
I'm just glad they changed their tune. That's where I come down on.
Yeah,
it. It's like,
I'm glad they repealed it.
Well, especially right now where people can't get out and about.
Well,
Let's be able to.
the library's all closed down.
That's
But
true.
they're doing. I think I saw that the New York library system is opening up their ebook library to anyone.
I know that there was a
That's
pretty
cool.
interesting thing because you know how bad Japan was hit with this.
Yeah.
They, I think
How
it was.
do you know that?
So at like the beginning of, I've been learning about Japan because I've been
Okay.
watching so much anime, Bob.
Oh, okay.
But I want to say there was something in the news recently where they released either 450 or 4,500, I forget. They came out with a shit ton of free manga.
Yeah.
And they just released it for free for
Yeah.
people to download and read so that they could keep the social distancing thing going on
Yeah.
to try and help everybody stay
I mean, you got to
home.
think like something like, let's just say, I don't know, One Piece. How many fucking manga of that is out there?
Good
You could release
God.
the first like 300 to get people hooked.
Oh my God! At this point,
Yeah.
like Jesus Christ!
Yeah. Did you find what you're looking for?
I did.
All right,
What
lay
you
it
got?
on us.
So, there's a whole lot of hubbubaloo run around the internet about this COVID-19 stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
Well, I came across an article. Someone shared an article with me that the CDC was recommending people shave their beards off.
Nope. Big.
Yeah.
To
Saw that.
avoid-
That's Big Razor.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, Big Razor's really just going to take advantage of this
Yeah.
pandemic to get people to shave their beards off. This is awful. Dug a little deeper, and no, someone found an infographic that was talking about being able to use respirators, which we had kind
Exactly.
of talked about with the
With the
fireman guy
fireman,
and
yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
About how, particular styles of beards or whatever, so your respirator will fit
Yeah.
better. Well, you don't need a respirator all the time to avoid, COVID-19
Right.
and all that stuff. But at first glance, I was like, Big fucking
Well,
razor.
the real
Oh,
thing.
I still thought
the
that.
real
I
thing
still think
is they want us to shave our beards for facial recognition software.
Oh yeah,
Not gonna
100%.
happen. Never gonna happen.
No, this beard
beard.
don't run. I should
You
that.
can,
that's
you can take you can take this beard from my cold dead face.
Yeah.
Or
This
something.
beard don't run. I need to put that.
Yep.
I don't know what kind of flag you put behind that. Like I guess a
Probably
American
probably that would work
Yeah,
too. I
yeah.
was about to say it'd probably more appropriate for like the what's the one with the snake?
Oh,
The
the
Gadsden flag?
Yeah, the
Is that what it's
Gadsden
called?
flag. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, could have put a beard
or
on
the-
that snake.
Oh,
Don't
fuck
shave
yeah.
on me.
Yeah, or the jokey one. There's a
Don't
there's
step
a,
on snake.
Yes, that's what. I was,
Yeah. Put that. Yeah. Yeah.
But since we mentioned this, can we just address that? I don't like calling this the coronavirus. I like calling it COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. Because there's lots of coronaviruses.
Yeah.
I prefer calling it
COVID-19.
I don't even say 19. I just say COVID.
COVID.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because the coronavirus is a type of thing.
Exactly.
There are lots of types of coronaviruses.
Well, this is the 19th.
Well, no,
No,
it was
it
found
came out
in year
in
19.
19.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that
that's
what it
why.
was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like the COVID is like the co is like corona, VI is like it's a virus. It was ID'd in like year 2019. So
Oh,
that's why it's
okay.
COVID-19. It's like it was-
Okay.
But I just like calling it that because first of all, it sounds more pleasing to the ear because I don't like saying Corona. Because if I say Corona, I kind of think about beer. I don't think
My
about
Corona.
And
That's what I think about. My Corona. Okay,
Anyways,
so
but
I would rather call it
COVID,
COVID-19
yeah.
because it reminds me of Jolene by Dolly Parton.
Oh, have you seen the memes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that,
Yeah.
and it's great.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Wow.
COVID.
COVID,
COVID-19. I'm begging you, please just wash your hands.
Can we get Miley Cyrus doing that?
That
No.
was Miley Cyrus. Did you not
Yeah, hear
Did
her?
you not just fucking hear it?
Oh, my bad. Ooh, okay.
Oof, talk to my publicist
Get on that. All right.
about these books and
No,
stories.
all right. So here's the thing. It's a new season. We're on season 4 now. And what's different? Every time we do a new season, it's because we've changed something. So what are we changing? First off, we're doing 1 episode a month. You know why? Because we're fucking busy.
we're in quarantined and social distancing,
Yeah. Well,
but also busy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
don't-
were. We had planned this before COVID. It's working out real well. So we're going to do
Don't
one
ask
episode
where
a
we got
month.
our information from.
But that episode is going to be as fucking long as we want it to be. We're going to sit here and we're going to talk until we talk about everything we want to talk about, and that'll just have to get you through till next month. So
Which I'm down for because I've always
he's always
preferred-
wanted the longer
yeah.
episodes. We're now scratching Derek's dick. It's good. All right.
Wash your hands.
After scratching Derek's dick, well, that was a good
I was
one.
gonna
Well-
say maintain your social distancing, but just wash your hands.
Well, there's a penis length joke in there.
And that's
We're-
why I was
we're just
pointing
gonna-
at you guys both.
We're gonna leave that where
Thank
that
you.
lies.
Yeah, just leave that alone.
All right. Well,
So
so
tickled.
each.
Wait, no.
Tanya,
Wow.
how dare you?
Every listener we just got back, we probably lost. There are a lot of folks like, oh God, thank God they're back, and like,
Oh,
I can't
what?
believe I wanted this.
Oh my God, miss me. Oh no.
All right, so we're gonna be on season 4 probably forever now. We're until the end. We'll be on season 4. We're not gonna change seasons anymore because that's fine. But we're gonna every year we will change the theme of what we're gonna cover that year. And this year the theme is the genres of fantasy. To this date, the cyberpunk episode is still our most popular episode.
Really?
By a long ways. So
That was
we're-
my,
yeah, so we're just every month we're going to pick a genre of fantasy, discuss it. It'll be like the cyberpunk episode where I kind of give the history of it, and we'll talk about stuff that we're familiar with in that genre. And our short read every month will be in that genre. So it'll be like, so if it's something that you're not familiar with, you get to read a sample of it, get to hear about it. Yeah, and you might be like, oh, you know what, I want to check out more. So just to give you an idea of what they'll probably be in this order, we're going to do Weird West, then Sword and Sorcery, Dark Fantasy, Fantasy of Manners, Contemporary Fantasy, High Fantasy, Grimdark, Magical Realism, and probably end with Urban Fantasy. So Weird Fantasy, that's where we're at. And there's a reason why we chose Weird Fantasy to be first.
Why is that? Is it because I know the least amount about it?
It's because, goddammit, we're finally going to talk about Blood Meridian.
Right.
Well, it's multiple things. We're going to talk about Blood Meridian, which there is a case to be made that it is weird fantasy.
I can see that. Yeah.
Also, it's probably the weird fantasy is only kind of a fantasy, or weird West is only kind of
Right.
a fantasy subgenre. So there's not as much to talk about here. So we're going to lengthen out talking about Blood Meridian. So
I thought it was just gonna be lengthened out by us talking bullshit about COVIDs and.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair too. So Weird West. What is Weird West? So mostly it's not mixed with fantasy. Most Weird West is mixed with horror or things like steampunk. Things like that. The supernatural more than your more traditional.
I just
elements.
think of Round Table Rivals or whatever by Lindsay Sterling. That's what I think of.
I think about Wild Wild West with Will Smith.
Ooh,
all
I
those
think
steampunk
about
scooters.
East of West is what I think of.
Okay, all right, Derek. The one that you're not thinking of, when I get to it, you're gonna be like, oh,
Dark
fuck,
Tower?
Yes. Oh, just wait. I mean, you're
So
all right. So Wild Wild West, the movie is really steampunk.
Yeah.
That's a steampunk
Well, yeah, I
movie.
can see that. I can
But
see that.
it does have Weird West elements to it. But you know that was a TV show.
Was
I
it?
did.
It
Yep.
was. It was a TV show back in the 70s,
Sounds-
I think. And we'll talk about that. All right. So what makes Weird West Weird West?
Give us the definition here, Bob.
It's pretty simple. You take a Western character or setting, probably both, and you add in elements of the supernatural. Boom. That's Weird West.
Ta-da.
It can be cosmic horror. It can be wizards. It can be whatever. And you mix it with folks on horses with revolvers, basically.
Bet.
So you take any sort of Wild West character, throw in a ghost, throw in a vampire, throw in, something like that, throw in
Some
a
bitchin'
wizard,
werewolf.
and boom. That's Weird West.
Does Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter count?
I think that it would, although
so.
it's not on here. It didn't pop up on the list, but I think
I
I would.
like
I would
that.
count. I would count that.
Yeah.
It
Kind of want to read
a
that. I've
little
never read it.
pre. So
I
here's
think
the
I did
thing.
read that.
So here's the thing about Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. It slightly predates the Wild West because
Yeah.
your stereotypical Wild West really comes into its own after the Civil War.
After the Civil War because of
that's
the-
when you start getting the Colt Revolver,
They- yeah.
the Trekking West,
Fair.
the Indian Wars, yada yada yada. But I would count it like
Yeah, I would
a kind
too.
of a proto Weird West.
Proto. That's what I was looking for.
So where does Weird West start? So the term itself comes out of the 1970s,
Okay.
but it predates that.
Wait, what?
So Weird West, the term I think was actually from a DC comic. They had a ongoing
Jonah
series
Hex?
called the Weird. No, they just had a
Oh.
Weird West, which I think Jonah Hex came out of their Weird West comics.
Maybe.
But it really begins in the pulp era, like your Weird Tales and all those. In fact, H.P. Lovecraft ghost wrote a
Really?
a
So now we
Weird
know why
West
we're
story.
talking about this.
Neat.
No. So I haven't read it though. I didn't.
Know
I've never read
this.
it. It's basically, from my understanding, is a woman started writing it and Lovecraft came in and finished it for her, more or
Okay.
less. But so it really begins with pulp era magazines. Some of the more famous at the time were Lee Winters, who was a deputy who his adventures often involved ghosts, sorcery, and creatures from Greek mythology, which I thought was cool.
Ooh.
They were written by
Neat.
Lon Williams and published in the 1950s. Now, here's the best thing in Weird West that none of us have ever heard of, and God damn it, I need
Are you sure?
all
I
of
haven't
it.
heard of it.
What?
Have you heard of Six Gun Gorilla?
Wait, what?
No.
What?
It's an actual gorilla who strapped on a pair of colts to avenge the death of the kindly prospector who had raised him.
I'm
I'm in.
I am so
When is that,
fucking
and that's
in.
from the 70s?
No, it's from like the pulp era. So this would be more like from the 50s, 60s, kind of 40s, 50s. Yeah. So yeah, it is Six Gun Gorilla. I have so much time for that.
I have so many questions.
I know.
Does the gorilla talk?
I don't know.
Does the gorilla
I'm
not
thinking
talk?
like, okay, you remember those Magilla Gorilla commercial or cartoons back in the day? I'm thinking like a
Obviously.
Magilla Gorilla, but
Dusty,
with...
if you ever listen to this, just know I'm thinking about you right now.
Yep, so was I. I literally
Magilla
did the
Gorilla
same.
and Grape Ape.
Yep.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Well,
That's
just like,
where I went to.
I'm thinking like Magilla Gorilla with like two bandoliers.
Yeah.
Just like.
Does he have a hat
Oh
though?
no, he's got. I think he's got a serape. You know,
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
with a silver pattern to it on the back.
Oh, because he's a silverback.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. He's got silver spurs.
What are you doing with Noble House with badgers or whatever the fuck it was that we
Yeah.
discussed, and then now you've got this?
I wonder if it's in the public domain. I wonder if I can pick up the mantle of Six Gun.
Oh my god!
Oh, okay. So let's talk about some famous examples, and y'all chime in if you've read them with your thoughts. Or listen. I'm going to cover books, TV, film, games, music, and comics. So, books. Cormac McCarthy has written some. Blood
I read
Meridian.
a book by that guy.
Blood Meridian is arguably Weird West. The Outer Dark, though, got listed. It's his second novel. I read the plot summary. Super fucking weird. Cormac, what
Weird.
kind of drugs were you on? It's bizarre. It is fucking bizarre. Just reading it. Like, it got good reviews, but just the summary is insane. It's like brother and sister have a kid together, and he fakes the kid's death, and a tinker takes the kid, and the guy goes away looking for it. Like, it's crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
sounds like a whole lot happening there.
Yeah. All right, so Derek, you mentioned it. Dark Tower series.
Yes.
Weird West. Especially that first book.
I haven't read it.
Well, I mean,
but-
all of them involve a gunslinger, and there's elements of magic. The second and third book in that series, I've only read the first 4. The first one and the fourth one, very strong Weird West elements. The two in between, the only Weird West element is basically he's a gunslinger. But it's very cool. It's a post-apocalyptic setting, kind of, sort of, with a gunslinger who's magically good. It's great. David Gemmell, our boy, yeah, he did and I haven't read it, but he did a trilogy, a weird. Now, you wouldn't look at it and think Weird West.
Okay.
It's a post-apocalyptic deal with a gunslinger character in it, but it's the John Shano, the Jerusalem Man series. There's a trilogy. He wrote one book, and someone sent him a letter. Was like, "There is no fucking way this can be the only book with this guy." So he wrote another one, and eventually made a trilogy. Louis L'Amour? Any Louis L'Amour fans out there?
I know the name.
Yeah, he wrote a bajillion westerns, and I read half a bajillion of them. They're really good. Now, they get formulaic after a while. Like, you can basically read, outside of his Sackett series, just pick 11 or 12 books at random, and after that, you'll start noticing that they start kind of repeating themselves.
I think if you write a bajillion books, you kind of...
Yeah.
It's all about the
but-
execution.
But,
Even if you're not intentionally doing a formula, I kind of think
yeah,
you all
he wrote one called The Haunted Mesa, and it was kind of a Weird West story, which I would like to track down and give it a read. So let's talk about TV. Derek, how could you not mention the Cowboys of Moo Mesa?
Oh my gosh, that show was so... Cowboys of
Because-
Moo Mesa.
Because Cowboys of Moo Mesa was not my jam. I know of it. I've seen a little bit of it.
Were you too young for that?
I don't know if I was too young or if
Well,
my attention was
Okay,
elsewhere.
Derek said to me.
Okay, cool.
so-
Well, then why are you blaming this on me?
I thought, for some
He
reason, I thought
expected
you were
more
big
of
on
you.
Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
No. I was more big on like
Backermeister Mars?
Silverhawks and
Bikermeister Mars was cool. I had several Bikermeister Mars action figures.
Braveheart. Brave Star.
Brave Star was one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're trash.
Well, Cowboys of Moo
Cowboys
Mesa.
of Moo Mesa. A
SWAT cats.
Oh,
that was
you know
okay.
that only ran for 2 seasons.
Dude, that's so weird because that seemed
Yeah,
like there
so-
was
so
a
good.
lot of it. Yeah.
But if you think about it, though, it's cats and a fighter jet. How
That's
many
great.
storylines can you really come up from cats and a
Come
fighter
on,
jet?
it's a cat. You know how much you can do with a cat? Cats are crazy.
Dude, have you got to the episode of Great British Bake Show? Season 6 has the...
No.
Okay.
just gonna say
There's
no.
a woman obsessed with cats, and she just made a wedding cake for some cats and put little cats on them. And it was like
Tanya's
just
so
just-
excited right now.
Just Meoweed was the
Yikes.
thing on it.
Look, man, I like cats, but I'm really trying to not be a meme with it.
This
Since when?
Since I'm no
Kim-
longer a single
Kim-
crazy cat lady.
Kim Joy, I think is her name. But she's like obsessed with Japan, so Derek, you'd also get a lot out of this too. So, but Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Why is that, Bob? I don't
a
know anything
meteor-
about Japan.
He doesn't. That's why he's
You
spending
learn,
your
yeah.
quarantine
Oh,
learning.
okay, yeah.
So, a meteor hits this mesa, and it mutates
The cows.
the cows into make them cowboys, and they go around.
Cowboys because they're people, but they're also cows.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
One of them is a little sheriff badge.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was like the Caldorado Kid, I think was
Yeah,
one of
It's
them.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Westworld.
Was that
Weird
the-
West. It was a Michael Crichton book, I believe,
Yeah.
that they made it to a show.
New season started
a movie
this
back in the
week or
day
something.
that was not well received, but now it's a very popular TV show on HBO, I think.
I'm thinking of West Wing. I was like, that's not Western.
No.
Even though it has West in the title, Bob.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
thinking West Wing.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
okay.
no. Westworld.
Westworld. Okay,
Yeah.
no, I get you now.
Yeah.
Not Waterworld.
no.
Not West Wing.
No.
Westworld.
No, I
point.
now didn't know that a Waterworld West Wing crossover was the show I really needed in my life. And
Happening
now
in my mind right now.
President Bruce Willis. No, was that? No, that
It was
Bruce Willis.
was it fucking Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner, President Kevin Costner. Yeah. All right, so there are a number of episodes of The Outer Limits and Twilight Zone that have Weird West elements to it. And last is Wynonna Earp, which is a
Which I've
show
heard
that's
of.
going on now.
Yeah.
I remember when it was coming out, it hadn't come out yet. I was like, ooh, I want to see that. And then I completely forgot about it. And then I was doing this article. I was like,
Oh yeah.
You know why I
yeah.
hate that show?
no.
Because anytime I try and find the song Whiskey Lullaby, a reaction to that, they have an episode called Whiskey Lullaby in
Yeah.
that show, and it always pops up. And I'm like, God damn it. I
Well,
just
moral
wanna
of the story, just don't listen to that song. It's
No,
trash.
it's an amazing song, Bob.
But it's so emotional.
Hey, Tanya,
Hey, Derek.
go back to quarantine.
All right. Film. Jonah Hex movie.
Mm-hmm.
Wild Wild West. Mm-hmm. Tremors. Hot take. The Tremors movies.
Ooh, they're in the
Weird West.
desert in the
Okay.
West.
Yeah.
You've got
Okay.
some weird shit happening.
Well, actually,
Yo,
the
I kinda wanna
fourth
watch-
one- the fourth one actually goes back to the Wild West.
Yo, I
Uh,
really want to see Tremors
Tremors
now.
1. It's amazing. Will always watch that movie when it's on. But yeah, hot
been
take.
so long.
That's
Yeah.
Tremors 1 is
I
definitely
like
Weird
it.
West.
I like it.
Because, and at one point, the guy actually, one of the two main guys kind of goes for the Wild West thing. Like, if I remember correctly, there's an element of it, like he kind of views himself as like that
gunslinger kind of cowboy
yeah.
guy.
The movie Ravenous, which was really good. I don't know if y'all have seen that. About kind of a Wendigo thing, cannibals.
No.
Speaking of cannibals, Cannibal the Musical.
Oh shit! Yeah.
That's Weird West. That's,
'Cause that's like-
emphasis on the fucking weird.
Well,
But it's
yeah.
about the Donner Party.
Yeah.
And it's about cannibals.
It's from the guys who do South
Trey
Park.
Parker and Matt Stone.
They're
Yeah,
from
they
their
made
public
yeah,
house.
and I'll never forget.
like Toxie the Avenger. That's that whole thing. And then
Yeah,
do
so I'll
Cannibal
never
Musical.
forget that Tanya took that to my parents' house and we watched it as a family. And my mom and stepdad literally, like a third of the way through the movie, just got up and went to bed. They were like, "Nah,
Did
What-
I?
we're done here."
Did I do that?
I watched it though. It was odd. The song about chocolate, the fudge.
I need better.
Fudge Packer.
I need better friends who just like stop me from doing stupid things.
And last I'm going to mention Bone
You just
Tomahawk.
quarantine yourself
I
from
saw
them.
Bone Tomahawk on a really bad date. But it's a good movie.
Okay.
Games. Red Dead Redemption has a
Does it?
it has a DLC that's zombies and has there's Sam Squatches in it and whatnot.
Did you see The Hills Have Eyes?
Yes. Remember we saw it in theaters and you
And I
cried.
sobbed.
Yeah, you sobbed dramatically through the whole thing.
Yeah. But that's kind of in the West, but that's not really
is.
Weird West. That's just more straight up horror that happens
Horror
to
in
be
the
set
West.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's counts though, doesn't it?
Well,
There
it
was no emphasis on it being Western. It was just you're in the desert.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're in
Yeah.
this desert.
Yeah.
Fair.
You ain't got no place to go. Okay.
Fallout New Vegas.
Okay.
Yep. Deadlands is a RPG that they've made computer games for, but it is quintessential Weird West. If I remember correctly, the plot is Native American shaman is trying to do a spell to drive out the white men and opens a portal to hell.
Nice.
So Weird West, it's great. Music, y'all need to check out Ghoul Town. They are great. They
Do
are.
we though?
Yeah, they're good. They legitimately are good. They're kind of like rockabilly cowpunk goodness. And last, we'll mention comics. Derek already mentioned Jonah Hex and East of West. East of West,
East of West is
best.
so fucking good.
It's done. I looked it up.
Complete?
It's completed.
Or did it just end?
It completed.
Okay.
But there's no third omnibus out
Yet.
So I'm holding
Keep
out.
an eye on that.
I'm holding out for that.
Oh man, I really want that.
Yeah.
I need to buy those.
I need to find out who has my first omnibus.
It's not me.
I'm super salty about that. I want my omnibus back because when I get the third one, I don't want to have to rebuy the first one to read all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
God, that's
anything y'all
so
want to add
good.
about Weird West? Anything franchises or whatnot that you thought of that maybe I didn't? I know y'all kind of threw some out early on. So
Well, for me, I'm not really big on the Western genre in general.
see,
so-
I love westerns.
I love a western, but I'm not educated in them. That makes it like the concept of them, the feel of them, the themes
Yeah.
of them.
Ooh,
Big fan.
so,
I just have never taken the dive.
Okay, I get that. I get
There is a
And
Clint
Weird
Eastwood
West.
western. Which one is it that could kind of qualify?
The one, Hang 'em High. where he gets hung and doesn't die or whatever?
No, that was cool though. No, it's the one where they end up painting the town red. What was it? But there's a thought that maybe he was dead the whole time. Like there's a theory about it that he was.
That Buster Scruggs on the Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Because there
Yeah,
were
there were
those
some weird
little
Westerns.
stories, and I was like,
I kind of should watch that at some point.
it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's
I heard good
Yeah.
things.
yeah,
There's-
it's pretty good. It's,
there's some shit-
It's weird.
It's like there's like some dead folks in a stagecoach.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, what's
Yeah.
oh fuck, what was the name? It's like there's a, I can't remember the name of the Warrior Way or fuck.
Describe it.
Oh, apparently there was an episode of
I'm just gonna look it
Bonanza
up.
with like a leprechaun or something like that qualified as Weird West. But
One singular episode of Bonanza.
yeah, I don't
Right.
know if there was an actual leprechaun in it, but it's like
They just referenced a leprechaun.
Hoss and the Leprechaun was the title of the episode.
Yikes.
I never watched Bonanza. I've never watched any Western TV shows, but I've watched a ton of Western movies.
Okay, see, I've had Western TV shows on in the background intermittently throughout my
Yeah.
life, and I guess maybe that's why I'm not super interested in the Western literary genre, because the TV
Yeah.
shows just kind of...
Well, there's not a ton of
Snoresville.
Westerns.
Here we go. I found it. Okay. It's called Warrior's Way. Refusing to kill an infant from an enemy clan, Master Swordsman Yang takes the child and flees to an American frontier
that
town.
movie was so good.
He puts away his sword for good, vowing to raise the baby in peace. Yang befriends Lin, a woman who wants revenge against a colonel and a man who murdered her family. When the colonel returns to wreak havoc on the town, Yang draws a sword to protect his new friends, but the sound of fighting draws Yang's murderous clansmen into the fray as well. So it's
Yeah.
6 shooters and fucking ninjas. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I love
like
it
it.
so much.
I like it.
I went
I
and
like
saw it
that.
in movie theaters.
Yeah, no, that was a really good movie.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah, it was a Eastern Western.
Yo, really want to watch that shit like tonight.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, do y'all want to discuss Blood Meridian first, or do y'all want to discuss the short read first?
Let's talk about short read.
Okay. Short read was Long and Slow and Short and Sharp by R.K. Duncan.
Let me pull that back up.
I kind of forgot the name of it because I just kind
Yeah.
of read it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
after you read the story, ooh, good name.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah,
good
yeah,
name.
So
yeah.
I did not read this when I picked it. I
just picked it and like, that's
I
what
just
we're going
picked
with.
You
it.
just
I was
knew
like,
that it fit
yeah.
the theme.
Cool.
Yeah, I looked up, weird, like free to read Weird West stories. Boom, and this popped up, and I skimmed it. Like I skimmed enough to make sure that there was going to be some element in there,
Right.
and I just like.
Okay, good enough.
I think I read like the opening 2 paragraphs, and was like, okay, they're talking about like some weird singing thing. Okay, cool.
Okay,
Cool.
yeah.
We'll be fine.
Yeah.
I
Really liked the story.
I liked the story. I hated the opening.
Really?
Yes.
Or
The
what about
first
the
2
opening?
paragraphs, the style that it was written, the sentences are hard to read, or they were hard for me to read. They oscillate between being almost run-on sentences and then like abrupt, almost like staccato like, and it's just so jarring at first.
Yeah, but think of the name of the story.
True, and like yeah, but
I
it
didn't
was-
make that connection until just
yeah,
now.
no,
so.
it was a difficult. The first 2 paragraphs were difficult for me to get into.
Well, that first paragraph here is only 3 sentences, but this last sentence is
Super long.
long, lots of commas. It's
Didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't notice until he pointed it out, and I'm
Yeah.
looking at it now, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess I could see that.
Well, when you're an expert of the craft like me. I couldn't even keep that going.
Yikes. No, Bob,
I
you're
wish
a
I could see the
published
look
author.
I'm giving Bob right now.
No.
Just
I very rarely pay attention to the craft to that degree, but for some reason
it just stuck out to you this
it
time.
stuck out to me. Yeah.
Yeah, because that first paragraph, you've got like this really long sentence, and the second paragraph, we're talking about the lady, and it's like 3 or 4 words, period. 5 or 6 words, period. Short.
Yeah.
And even these are like sentence fragments, really.
Yeah.
So
But it
yeah, I can see that. I didn't notice until you pointed it out, but yeah.
It establishes its pace, and it's fine from that point on.
Yeah.
But no, I really enjoyed the story. The summary is basically there are people in the world that
What did they call them?
Enthusiasts.
Yeah.
that have magic in their singing. And it doesn't go super in depth into that, but they have this ability to sing the song that a person needs to hear. And so this guy, as you learn through a series of flashbacks, was a very terrible person. He was an outlaw in the Wild West, and one of these enthusiasts wrote a song about him and put a prophecy into it that he would die when he hears
The end of the song.
listens
to the song, yeah.
Here's his final song. And so he spends the rest of his life trying to avoid that, killing enthusiasts if he finds them, yada, yada, yada.
Isolates himself, mashes stuff in his ears so
Like
he can't
ruins
Yeah.
his fucking life.
Yeah, but he finds his one, and so the story starts. He is going to hand her so much money that there's no way that she'll refuse to sing a song for him that will be safe. And she refuses the money and sings a song that, no, here's the song you need to hear.
And he's like,
it's Departing Glass, which is one of my all-time
Oh,
favorites.
so it was a real song.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a real song.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
If you ever seen the movie Waking Ned Divine, that's kind of like the theme song from that. But yeah, it's called Departing Glass. It's a really
okay.
good song. It's like a Irish song. Which he tried to get her to sing The Wild Rover, which is another Irish song. Like that's more of a drinking song.
Yep.
Departing Glass is more like the song that you would sing at the end of the night. Yeah, every one of those lines is from the chorus.
Yeah, and I couldn't. That was when I was reading it. That was one thing I was wondering. I was like, is this a song that I don't know, which it clearly was, or if it was
Yeah.
something that they had written for?
Yeah,
the
no.
story?
It's a real song, and it fit this perfectly. And then rip him.
I really liked how we got, we got to see what's happening to him, like, physiologically as this song is happening, and his hands are, like, twitching involuntarily, and blah, blah, blah. And then we're like, zoom, back into the back, and we get to see some of the bullshit shenanigans that made him,
the way he is.
that
he
brought
got
us
to this
to
point.
And, like,
this point in the bar where he's being sung to death.
and how well the lines of the song fit the flashbacks. And
Yep.
it was just done so well. Like
Yeah, this
I'm
was
not
really good.
I'm not big on flashback as a narrative device, and this was a story that was 90% flashback.
Yeah.
But it worked so well.
Mm-hmm.
It
But-
was done so well.
So this reminded me of a thing, and this is going to be a bit of a digression, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
So there was a style of writing on Momentum, which when we used to write
Yeah.
together for Role Players Realm, that incorporated song lyrics. Like people would in their post, they would use the lyrics of songs, and they would italicize them and color them so that they could, and then like
When
use
I
that
came
as like
around, there were still people that did that.
right, a
in
little,
some
a
of their
little,
posts. Yeah.
a little bit, not a ton, but it was a big thing at one point. That's what this kind of made me think of, because they would. When I used that style, I would make sure the song I was using paired up very, very, very well with what was
Yeah.
happening in it. So it just made me think of that because the lines matched so well
Yeah.
with his memories of what was happening
Well, and
and
what
stuff like
I
that, or
kinda-
what used to happen.
Like,
Yeah.
what I kind of viewed of that is, like, he's listening to the song, and the line of the song triggers the memory of his. Like,
Right.
she's using that line and drawing out that memory of him or something
And
like
it's
that.
setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just, yes, from a narrative construction, I see that, but from the story, it's
yeah.
like that line triggers that memory, and we
Yeah.
get pushed into that.
It's like he's
with
being
him.
assaulted by his history.
Yeah.
So do you think, did the song kill him?
I think his.
Or did he have a heart attack because of the song?
So
Kinda
I
like-
think here's what happened. In my opinion, what happened was he was killed by the prophecy at the beginning. Because, like, basically they said that this was going to happen to him, and then he lived his life so shittily trying to avoid it that when she sang this song to him at the end of it, it kicked all of the emotions and the misery of his life
panic and
at him all at once, back to back. And if he had not lived his life that way
Yeah.
after that point, it wouldn't have stopped
Can
his
you
heart.
imagine how awful that would be? It's like you gum up your ears and everything so you can't hear, but enthusiast songs cut through no matter what you do.
Yep.
Like,
That's why you don't do that at all.
Yeah,
'cause
that's
it
the
doesn't
thing.
help
I
you.
would have quit, you know.
Yeah.
But well, I don't know what I would have done in this situation.
I wouldn't have fucking killed somebody. How about that?
Yeah, there's a
know?
thought. There's a hot take.
I mean, Tanya would have.
I
But
listened to another podcast a couple days ago at this point.
Cheater.
Yeah, I listened to other podcasts, Bob. Jeez. I couldn't listen to us because we ain't been around for some
are you
months.
going to pretend like it was not you that stopped us from recording? Is that
It
what you're
wasn't
doing
me.
right now?
No,
It was a mutual decision to not.
Yeah. Well, it was more.
It was a
me.
mutual decision on this side of the table
Yeah.
to not.
It was.
But no, like talking about like I wouldn't have done that or I would have done this or that. You don't know what you would have done because right now we're in a cold emotional state. But when you're in a hot emotional state, your brain doesn't function the same way. So it's easy to sit here in your nice cold emotional state.
Well, this
say I
brings
would
up
or wouldn't do this
the
thing.
Stanford prison experiment is something
yeah,
that fascinates the hell out of me. And everyone's always like, "No, there's no way. I would
Oh, of
never."
course there- yeah, you should-
I
you
would
would.
never.
Yeah.
I would never torture those people like that.
I would.
Okay,
I would.
And everyone says that before they go into that position, and then they all end up doing it.
What's,
you know?
Yeah, what's the book, the Gulag Archipelago or whatever, where it there's a study done about like how people reacted during the time of like gulags and shit like that, where they're like, no, you absolutely would have done those same exact things that everyone
Yeah.
else did. It's
Yeah.
human nature.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
not like
Nazi
they were.
Germany.
Yeah, that's
Do I
just
think that every person in Nazi Germany was, evil and a Nazi? No, like
But these
people
things-
people will do what they need to survive. It doesn't justify it. It's just people going to survive. People going to people.
And part of it's that people didn't understand that like they're being pressured by other things. Like, well, they told them that they could leave and they didn't have to do these things. But then they know, like, if I leave, then the guys that I've been with this entire time are going to have to go through this
Yeah.
shit by themselves.
Right.
I can't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to leave. Where the fuck am I going to go? I've been in Montgomery my whole life. Not for me, but I mean, like, I've been in this town my whole life. I don't have resources elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a whole,
Yeah.
all these
Yeah.
things compounded. But no, it's interesting to think about.
Yeah.
But I feel as if I probably wouldn't have become a criminal considering that currently I am not a criminal. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everything he had done
Yeah.
after that, okay, maybe I would have reacted that way, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
have gotten to the point where
I
I was
would-
like, you know what I should do? I should
wouldn't
rape
have-
and murder
I would
someone.
not have lived my life to
Yeah.
the point where some enthusiast feels the need to make a prophecy song about me.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
That's how that's now
Yeah.
how will I live my life in such a way that enthusiasts do not feel inclined to make prophecy songs wishing for my death.
Yes, correct. I mean,
Good
you
way
might
to live your life.
Well, Bob, you're gonna have to ease up on the puns then.
Ooh,
Ooh.
well,
Oh my
rip
god.
me.
Oh my god, Bob. So, Animal Crossing is just
Puns.
full of puns. Oh my god.
I've been kind of wanting to play a game.
Yeah.
That's like
It's super chill and
That's
relaxing.
why I want to get the one for 3DS because I got a 3DS.
I
and
want
just
to
play
We've got
that.
it
play
on the
that. What was
Switch,
that
it's
game?
great.
What was the name of that game that I was talking to y'all about?
Which one?
The one where you're the painter.
No.
No, it's a think of like Morrowind or Fallout, Elder Scrolls, like that kind of like
Cool.
explore the world game. But there's no combat. You're just going through this world. You get little side quests like, hey, could you go paint this thing for me? And you don't actually paint the things. You just go screenshot the thing
Yeah.
and it turns into a painting. But like you've got to do little side quests to like assemble to make your canvases and stuff like that. And
You
it
would really
sounds
like Animal
super
Crossing.
relaxing. And it's like you just I love exploring worlds. You're just going around exploring this world, finding amazing scenery and just taking screenshots of
What's
it.
that game on Steam where you just have a farm? You just make a
Oh,
farm.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
you'd probably enjoy that. I had
Yeah.
that. That's a lot of fun.
No,
but
that-
I get super sideways though because then
I've
but
also
there's-
heard that it has like
I think
You
they
have,
have,
like
they
you
have
have a stamina
multiplayer
bar
now.
and stuff in Stardew Valley.
Yeah,
So you're gonna
yeah.
feel some pressure there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Um,
you just gotta manage your day and you build your stamina up. so
The
that you can
best
do more
review
stuff.
I saw of this game that I can't remember the name of.
The painting game.
Yeah, was someone was like, "There's fast travel between the towns, but
That defeats
I
the-
never take it.
purpose. doesn't
Like
it?
I would
Yeah.
rather walk and see. That's how beautiful the scenery is. So
No, I think you would enjoy Animal Crossing. I bought it for Tyler. Like, oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's for me too.
Yeah.
That way you don't feel weird about me buying you something. No, bitch, I played it more than he has
yeah,
lately.
Well,
like it's
I
been
bought,
a lot of
I
fun.
bought No Man's Sky because
Yes.
I wanted space exploration, and fuck me, that game is resource management. Like, oh my god,
Yeah.
you need fuel for like.
Oh, so it's stressful, kind of.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's tedious.
It's tedious because it's like, okay, I need fuel for my spaceship. Awesome. Oh, I got to this planet that's away from my base. Well, fuck me. I need to let me go harvest some stuff up to get the
Yeah.
shit I need to make fuel so I can get back to where my base was.
and you can't hold enough of the stuff, so you gotta.
Yeah, like you can build storage containers at your base, and each storage container only has 5 inventory slots. Now each inventory slot can hold like 99,000
of whatever it's
of whatever
holding.
the one
that
thing,
one
of
thing.
that one thing, but it can only hold 5 things. It's like, and you can only build like 10 of those.
Oof.
Yeah, it's
So you can
just-
only have
it-
50 resources.
Yeah, and then like your spaceship can have some slots, but every time you add like gear to your spaceship, it takes up one of your inventory slots. It's like, and
No.
yeah, it
That game does still have a lot going for
It
it, but
does.
there are some
it does,
glaring.
but it's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted the freedom to just
Dude,
go
I'm
explore.
I'm telling you, man.
and it was
telling
the
you-
storyline made no sense.
I'm telling you, Bob. Sea of Thieves. It is
Yeah.
the most gorgeous game, and you don't even you can just travel and look at cool shit. I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
endless. They have map ends and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
it's so beautiful and fun.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've enjoyed Animal Crossing. I'm shaking trees and fishing for fishes and digging up clams, and I planted some
Well, you know who
flowers.
the expert on clams is.
That's
Me?
what I'm saying. You would love this game.
Yeah.
No.
No.
And there's an owl who
I
runs a
actually have
museum.
messaged clam organizations.
Oh my god.
Yikes.
I've messaged Harvard has like a school of clamology.
Wow.
And I sent them a copy of the ebook. They did not respond.
Wow.
But one guy who did a documentary
Oh, yeah.
on clams, he messaged me back saying, "Oh man, this is funny. I think some of my D&D playing friends would like this." So,
Cool.
and then a guy I met at a con, his son is a clamologist, and the reason you can get this book in print now is because his clamologist son wanted it. He's like in Nova Scotia clamming it up, and he was
That
like,
doesn't seem like a place that I would think of clams being.
"Well,
That's
why-
because you're not a
did
clam
did
specialist.
Did you ask me? They're everywhere, Tanya. Clams, everywhere. They
Bob,
have wings.
what
Some
was
of
your-
them, some of them
Bob.
have wings.
Bob, what was your one favorite clam from that book?
I kind of really liked the running clam.
Tell us about the running clam.
The running clam is a clam that gets into politics.
Oh my god.
So you've got, some of the more famous ones are like Abraham Lincoln or Bernie Clamders,
Oh my god.
Barack Obama. So yeah, they're the more politically minded clams.
You're welcome for that, Bob.
If you enjoyed that kind of humor, you'll fucking love this book.
I'm a good friend.
Oof.
All right.
Blood Meridian.
Let's Blood Meridian.
So, well, real quick,
Yeah.
I really liked the short story.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just the same general problem I always
You wanted
have with
more.
these. I want more.
Yeah.
And that was the consensus. Yeah.
Yeah.
With who I discussed it with, because it was just like, well, now I need to know more about these enthusiasts because that sounds
Yeah.
super fucking
I mean,
awesome.
they're bards.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
but think about it. How often do you get like bards in a story, like a good book?
They're actually, how often do you get a good bard? And that's not, we're not talking in stories, we're talking in D&D.
I love
because bards are trash. they're a trash class.
They're the best class to play in the game. Bob.
They're-
I will walk out right
They're
fucking now.
masters of nothing.
They're masters of being awesome.
Ooh, that's gonna be a hard no.
I'm gonna. Tanya, you don't. You,
Gonna have to
I-
carry the rest of this podcast
Yep.
solo.
You're just gonna have to throw that some bitch over your shoulder and just,
Okay.
just carry it.
Get prepared, Ryan. I hate you for making me read that book.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Blood
so
Meridian.
Blood
Oh,
Meridian.
God.
Ryan picked Blood. So we don't do this anymore. Ryan, we love you, but
You ruined it.
You
Yeah.
killed. Well, and to be fair, I actually did like this book.
Did not.
But we no longer read books suggested to us by folks, mostly because it's just
too time
It's too
consuming.
time consuming, and everyone reads at such different paces. It's virtually impossible for us to sync up us all finishing this book at the same time. We're not doing it anymore. But Blood Meridian was our last, and we will be reading books as time goes forward.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about them, but just as a group read, no, we're sticking to the short reads. But Blood Meridian, or what is it? Blood Meridian or
Something in the
Die-
West.
Die
High Noon in the West.
I don't
Or
even. It was
dead cows pushed off a cliff. I don't know.
misery.
Yeah.
Misery
Scalp
company.
everyone. Dead animal death. Gratuitous everywhere.
Quick, name something good that happens in this at all ever.
The
bad guy
mentally
dies.
handicapped kid gets baptized and bathed.
That's the one good thing.
It's
Maybe.
the only, and it doesn't end well for him.
No, it doesn't.
But it.
Oh yeah, because the ladies are like, the
Yeah.
fuck is going on with this? Come here, honey.
Yeah, they
and
take-
they bathe him and they put him in clothes and
But
then
keep in mind,
slaughter.
the opening scene of that book of him in the book is him literally eating his own poo. So, yeah.
I
It was gratuitous. intensely gratuitous. But that's why I think Bob's hot take, it's the great American novel.
Okay, so I read that Cormac McCarthy did tons of research. This is an incredibly accurate novel to way life was in the West, save for the weird what the fuck is going on with the judge, weird.
Well, and the judge was actually a real person. Now, there's not much. The scalp hunters that he joins, real people. They were real. The Glanton Gang, that was a real group. Really happened. The judge was part of the Glanton Gang. A guy who eventually became like a senator or something like that was in it briefly, and he wrote a autobiography, and he talked about his time in the Glanton Gang, and he references the judge and as like this terrifying figure kind of deal. So it is
historical fiction.
Yeah, it is kind of a historical fiction, but so much like that's the framework. Like the Glanton Gang, real, but no one knows anywhere near as in depth about them. Like the only real reference to him is this one guy's autobiography, and he was only with them for a little bit of time. Okay. So Glanton Gang, real. The major events of going here, going there, that happened. Them, all that stuff, broad strokes. But so yeah, historical fiction, but historical fiction with an end. Like no one really knows, because near as I can tell, Cormac McCarthy doesn't ever talk about his books. But it seems to be just talking about like the nature of war, and like mankind's proclivity to war.
Cool. I know humans are shit. I don't want to read too many fucking pages.
Yeah.
Of
I'll say this: if it did not have the judge, I would have actively hated that book. But to me, the judge is such a fascinating character. He made the book worth reading.
Intrigued you enough to keep going? Wasn't the case for me.
Me either.
Yeah, no.
I was vaguely interested.
Well, and like there's so much, because I went back and read a bunch of cliff notes on it and and there's a bunch of stuff that you like when you read all this, the cliff notes, and like there's a bunch of references in there that you won't pick up because you just don't know, because this stuff is intensely researched.
Yeah.
And people going in and like explaining, oh well, here's actually what's going on there. Here's who this person was, and there's so much that you learn. Like there's one thing, I don't know if you noticed this. Everywhere the judge goes, a kid dies. There's always a reference to a kid.
I just kind of thought he was like a
kid
pedophile
going.
murderer.
Well, yeah, but a kid goes missing. Like, and it's not like obviously he kills that one kid just like right in front of everybody.
Yeah.
But everywhere they go, there's a reference to like anytime they're in town, like this like woman was crying in the street that her child had gone missing, and it's everywhere they go.
I just kind of assumed it was him taking a kid, fucking it to death.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And not to endorse that, I'm just saying that there are little things like that.
It's too late. You've endorsed it. Sorry.
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
That every place that they stopped that happened, and until I read these like cliff notes, and there was a lot of little things like that.
So,
like they break down like the tarot reading, and stuff like that, and how like a lot of the symbolism in that like spooky tarot reading scene and yada.
I know. I did audiobook.
I did audiobook
as well.
We all three did audiobooks.
Yeah.
Well, I know that there was, like some Spanishy happenings.
Yes.
And
no translation.
Can get by with kind of fumbling through reading Spanish, but not enough to. I'm not good at it enough with it being audible, so I felt like I missed a lot.
Well,
there.
There's a website that's basically all the Spanish in Blood Meridian. So I
was able to pick up on a couple things, but
I got none of it. So I would.
It's been a minute.
I would read that, and there are some like little hidden things, not hidden, but there are things in that, and yada yada yada. And
I don't know. Go ahead, Derek.
Here's and this is the other side of my general opinion on books or stories in general. Things normally, what I look at is a thing doesn't necessarily have to be good to be enjoyed, but that the flip side of that is even if it's
good,
does not mean it's.
There is some of the most beautiful imagery.
There is some exceptional prose. That was
Yeah.
the only thing I liked about anything
But
in this book.
And I think so much of that is like, you know, these beautiful descriptions of the scenery and whatnot. It's there to contrast against the beauty of
Let's look at
beauty
this
of
gorgeous
nature.
sunset and this tree silhouetted, and then also scalp all the people, rape them, and throw animals off the cliff.
But the thing is like, this is very clearly expertly crafted
Yeah.
and studied. However, it is a miserable piece of art that I have no interest in ever revisiting or suggesting anyone else.
Well,
reread.
so Weird West. Let's talk Weird West for tying it all together. I think that the judge is a supernatural character, and there's back and forth debate on that. Not everyone thinks that. Some
He just
people
kind of
think
seems to pop up all
I
the
choose
time.
to
people-
believe.
some people think he's the devil. Some people think he's, you know, just some sort of supernatural entity. He's an avatar of war. Da 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 da.
Maybe.
Um,
I mean,
but
now,
then other people
okay.
are like, no, he's just a person.
It's been months
Right.
since I finished this, and I struggled to even make myself finish it. So at no point have I ever gone back
Yeah.
to retouch this. So I'm kind of working on my months old
Yeah.
memory here. But like it, from what I think I recall, like the judge seemed to kind of egg on a lot of this violence.
He did.
That, like, you know, the kid who becomes not the kid, he's the man.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, maybe we don't. The judge like, do it, you fucking pussy.
Do it.
Yeah.
You won't.
Yeah.
You won't.
Well, like,
Yeah.
You a
so
bitch.
The kid, the judge. There's a lot of interplay there between the judge and the kid.
Yeah.
And like again, I read this entire Cliff Notes website beginning to end twice on this thing, because I honest to God would like to do a podcast chapter by chapter on this.
Someone who's not
Yeah.
me will listen to that.
Right. Yeah, no, I would be down to do that. Like, it's just so I've never read something that was this dense with like the symbolism,
Yeah.
and there's just so like once you read like the behind the scenes stuff, like there's references to the dance. Anytime there's dancing, dance is a metaphor for war, yada yada yada. It's like all this crazy stuff. Anyway, so like the judge is seemingly obsessed with the kid, and the kid is the only person that ever
Doesn't.
that seems to reject.
Right.
But interesting, the kid is technically the main character, but you never know his thoughts. His thoughts are never actually
Yeah,
put on paper.
we're always outside of him.
Outside.
And it seems like there's so many things that happen in the story that just happen to
To
him
him.
that he just kind of goes along
That's
with.
another thing I
we don't have a
hated
lot of
about the book.
agency there
No
from our
agency.
main character.
Yeah, which he did have some, like when he chose to not kill that guy and chose to, like, hey,
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
Making
Yeah.
a choice isn't the same thing as having like. At what point did he drive the plot himself? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he was not the one making any kind of decisions as
I'm
this is what
absorbed
I'm
in
going to
this
do with my
gang
life. He was
and-
just kind of there, and then he would.
You could argue that he did because he was the friction with the judge. He was
Fair.
at the end. He rejects the judge's way of life and
Yeah.
goes separate, and that's why the judge is so obsessed with him. This is the only guy that ever
Told him no, basically.
basically told him no, and so it's just stuff like that. Like, fascinating fucking book, but it is brutal. Like, God, this is the nastiest. Like, you just like the scene where there's like the babies impaled on the
Yep.
bush.
Yep.
There's no one knows why. No one knows what that's about.
Just
like
'cause.
what is that about?
So-
just cause.
I know that I messaged the two of y'all about
Yeah.
halfway through the book. And I don't like not finishing a book. I especially didn't want to not finish a book that we were going to talk about.
Correct.
But I was having such a physical, visceral reaction where I was just constantly, not regularly disgusted, I was constantly at all points disgusted by everything that's happening in the story, that I was nauseated. Like,
Yeah.
I literally don't think I could sit through any more of this. And I know I came to the group chat with y'all, and you're like, well, make sure you've got good reasons why you didn't
Yeah.
finish.
Yeah, we told you
Perfectly
you did not
fine.
have to finish.
Yeah, and I know I didn't have to. I chose to continue because I wanted.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see. I knew good
Yeah.
things weren't going to happen, but I wanted to be able to
Completely.
have a conversation about the rest
Yeah.
of the book. But 0 out of 10 would never recommend this.
Yeah.
Like, and to your point, Derek, like, it's well crafted, well researched. Like,
Miss me with that though. Yeah.
at no point would I ever go, you know what would be a really fun read? Go sit down with Blood Meridian. There's got some weird shit, but it'll be fine.
Like, and I don't mean this directed at you or Ryan, but like, if you suggest this book to someone, I think less of you. Like,
yeah. Well, I don't think Ryan had read this.
Right. I don't think
he was like, hey, I want to read Cormac McCarthy, pick The Road or Blood Meridian.
The Road or Blood Meridian.
Right. Because I've read The Road.
I've read The Road. And
that was
so depressing.
Yeah, but not.
So is this.
But
this was.
No, The Road is depressing. This isn't depressing. This is disgusting.
This is misery.
This is misery. Yeah. But I don't know. I think.
I also think The
I
Road
would
is
recommend
better.
this. If
Maybe
you
not
have a
better,
heads
faster,
up, and you're told, like, I would definitely recommend this to someone. If I was like,
if
hey,
you were
look,
going into it, you wanted something. I don't know
I
why
guess
you
if
would.
I knew that there was going to be impaled babies and then just gratuitous animal death and a lot of rape and a lot of scalping stuff and just a lot of this
not going
gross
in blind,
brutality.
Right.
But like, if you go into it and you're told, like, look, there's going to be a lot of brutality, like gratuitous brutality, but
Pointless so much of it.
But I think that's the point of it is it's supposed to be pointless brutality. It's brutality for the sake of brutality.
Because people are terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
Projection.
but if you choose to really dig into it, I think the reason I like it, and y'all like, and again, I've read everything that y'all say. I agree with 100%. But you
did more of that academic Larry research.
Yeah, that's. I think if you will commit the time to really putting the effort into like peeling back the layers on this, it's rewarding. It's a rewarding read in that regard. If you, and that's why I liked it. Like there were things in there that like some of the things that you think are pointless aren't pointless
because there's a layer.
Because there's a layer, you know. There's like, and like I had notes at one point for this, and I was like, all these things, like, oh, here's the realization I had, but it's been months.
Yeah.
But like there was stuff in there that was like, oh, because like this Cliff Notes site, it had like certain themes. Like here are like the major themes of the book, and it had symbols, and it would put symbols by a thing. It's like this is purposely put in here to
tie into this theme.
Theme, and like it would, it would summarize. Like, here's what this page is about. And then here's shit you didn't realize, shit that's historical about it. Oh, here's a callback that you didn't realize was actually a callback to this. And there's just, it's so, like, I think from a writing standpoint, just take the prose out of it. Like, let's just say this is a screenplay, more or less. It's still such a complicated book that I don't think I could write this book. It's so dense and complicated and many layered, even if you took out the beautiful descriptions.
What I normally like.
Yeah.
But there was at no point.
Do you see yourself rereading this one multiple times, Derek, and getting a new story every time?
I literally just got done saying I think less of people that.
No,
but that was what I was just going to say.
For the right person, this is an amazing recommendation. For someone who wants to take the time to really go in on it, and
I would disagree just because there are books that have as many layers almost, but is not a constant drag and misery to experience.
Well, there's a reason this book is as popular and regarded as it is.
There's a lot of edgelords, yeah.
Edgelords.
I'm fucking with you.
No. But seriously, as I brought this book up over the months, and stuff like that, like, my God, fucking Blood Meridian. The only people who've been like, oh my God, yeah, Cormac McCarthy, fuck yeah, have been dick-ass edgelords. There's like, yeah, it's really just talking about, like, the violence inherent in people. It was like, I know people are shits and they're violent. I don't want to read 500 pages of it. Like, I read because I want to get away from reality, not to have it just slapped in my face constantly, covered in dead baby blood.
Yeah.
Like... Yeah. But no, like, the only people who are really aware of this book are lit majors, which I don't talk to very many lit majors, but then I talk to quite a few, dick-ass edgelords. Yeah. And they've been like, oh yeah, fucking Cormac McCarthy, Blood Meridian, it's so great. I was like, wow, we're never going to talk again. Cool.
Jesus.
Please delete my number.
I would say it is a great work of fiction in that
very well crafted, exceptionally well crafted.
Possibly the best written book.
I just can't get over the subject matter to praise it. That's just me.
But that's the thing, like, to a degree, it's the fact that he's evoked that much of a visceral reaction is somewhat of a testament to. I mean, not necessarily, because I can just sit here and write baby rape porn. And
No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't,
I
Bob.
couldn't.
You
I
couldn't.
couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, someone
I
could
know.
do that, and it would evoke a visceral response as well, and wouldn't have to be well crafted. But this is, I don't know.
Yes, The Hills Have Eyes is not a great filmatic work of art just because it
We can all
broke me down.
we
to
can all
Saw at the
acknowledge that
theater.
it's not
Yeah.
it's not the Lake Placid of
Nothing is.
Yeah.
Nothing is. You know how I know that movie's great? It's because I can't find it to buy it.
because it's always sold out
Yeah.
everywhere. That's
Yeah.
that's 100%.
You're gonna find it in
what
the
is.
Criterion Collection after a while.
What?
The Criterion Collections where they put the best films, they get it brought into the Criterion Collection.
I don't
Really?
know what that's-
Really?
No, I've never heard of that.
Oh no!
I've heard of it. I didn't know what it was.
It's a film collection that like film snobs
Oh.
vote to put a movie into the Criterion
Like
Collection.
the Godfather's in that, right?
I don't know. I've never
There's
seen
no-
the fucking Godfather.
What?
I don't know.
I'm-
Something. I'm culturally aware that it's Italians, mobs. There's a horse head and death. It's
Have
something
you-
about my
have
daughter's
you-
wedding.
Have you read
No.
Jade
Oh, I've read Jade City. Yeah,
minus some of the cool stuff, and you
Take
have
out the Asian elements,
yeah.
and the superpowers.
and it's The Godfather.
You come to me on the day of my daughter's wedding. I don't know.
That's-
I was doing
So,
Italian.
okay,
What the
all right,
fuck? Okay.
So the Godfather's now the Count. Okay, good to know. Didn't know that.
I
Didn't know that. There's a hot take for you.
One punch.
Marlon-
Two punch.
Oh my god! Someone who's seen One Punch Man, there's never a second punch. What are you talking about?
God, I just want to be done with this.
Consecutive normal punches.
You
All right.
asked for this. It wasn't me hitting y'all up saying, "Hey, you want a podcast again?" Nope. You brought this to the universe on purpose.
Are you not entertained?
God.
Oh my god. Oh, never mind. Can't talk about it. Keep going.
What?
Moving on.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. Have we said all we want to say about Blood Meridian?
I very, very well crafted. Guy has exceptional prose. It was just a miserable
and see, y'all
read
talk
to
about
me.
like the prose is great. There are tiny pockets that I can recall of like describing the land. That's nice. However,
Even when the bad
like-
stuff is happening, it's still
but it's
exceptionally
like
well
no,
written.
his
A lot of times.
stupid sentence structure like the man sits in a chair. He puts his hands on his laps. He stands up. He takes 2 steps. Clump, clump. He picks up a cup. Drink, glunk. Like
Well,
so much of it was just
sometimes-
like chip chop chip chop chip chop,
Yeah.
and then let me wax eloquent about this sunset while there's slaughter.
Yeah, but
Like,
there
but-
tends to be reasons for that. So, but no, I get it. It's not for.
No, I can't get over the subject matter and the handling of the subject matter to get to the academic appreciation
Yeah.
of it.
My thing is, I could if you gave me anything.
What-
Just give me
okay,
to me-
anything.
Here's the question.
But I know
what the
that's not-
fuck's the story?
The
Ta-da!
I would argue that the story is about the conflict between the judge and the kid.
I just feel like there was no plot. Like no,
Well,
all
it-
of this,
this
and
is-
nothing actually
well,
happens.
it's
This
like-
other
is
than we
literary
know.
fiction.
Well,
Most
part
literary
of it
fiction
is
doesn't.
also like, does the kid, like you're talking about, like, well, the kid never makes choices for him. Like, he's just swept along.
Yeah, he gets caught up in the
And
game.
and
makes
that's
that he
part.
goes with.
Part of. I think that's part of the story. Does he have his own what do you call
Agency.
it?
Agency?
Does he have his own agency, or is he just caught up in this? Do any of us have
Caught
agencies,
in a
or are we just
landslide.
No escape from
so
The
reality?
judgy judge, murdering people, slaughtering babies.
Oh my god. Are you just a poor girl?
So
help
we got a new
me,
we got a new Rianco product.
I've been locked
We're
up for
magical.
too long.
All right.
Magical.
Y'all ready for this Rianco product?
Oh, they've had a lot of time to practice this one, so I'm kind of have really high expectations for this Rianco product. It's been months since we've gotten. I just kind of felt like their R&D department was really
Well, their
sending us something
R&D
great.
press department kind of thought this up on the fly Wednesday night when making podcast notes. So it's not like 3 months of downtime led to me just sitting here crafting.
This. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
This
no.
is not the blood meridian of
No. What this
No
is,
nuance here, boys.
it's the Disinfecto 3000.
Oh. Well,
This
we definitely need
special
that.
spray bottle has a This special spray bottle has a proprietary blend of acids to make sure that your surfaces are absolutely spotless. They are also highly flammable, so don't be afraid to get that extra bit of clean by lighting the whole mess on fire. Rianco, helping you through COVID one product at a time.
Accurate. Just burn it all
These
down.
statements have not been evaluated by the FDA.
So,
Yeah.
next month, it's Sword and Sorcery Month. Go forth and read The Tower of the Elephant by Robert Howard.
Look-
You
Looking
can
forward.
read that damn George R.R. Martin shit that's never gonna finish.
What?
Song
Don't
of
help
Ice
her.
and Fire.
Ah, I was
I
gonna
was
say,
thinking,
don't help
like,
her. Let her
no,
stare at her.
That
Stare
show,
at her.
that show was so
not
terrible
sword
at
and
the end. It
sorcery,
just
though.
blocked out. Is it not? There's magic and there's swords.
No, I feel like well, when we have this episode and we discuss what sword and sorcery is,
There's
No,
lots of
no,
magic.
this is not sword. This is
Yeah.
not Sword and Sorcery. Sword and Sorcery's
we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll
It'll
get
be a
there.
fun
We'll talk-
episode.
no.
Ponder it for the next
Yeah,
few weeks.
I would accept Grimdark. Kinda.
Probably epic.
Oh,
some
I
extent.
think Grimdark, epic.
Yeah, but I would not accept Sword and Sorcery.
Well, you'll see.
Oh.
It'll be exciting. Could you see this painted on the side of a van? Because
have
you
y'all
can't.
seen Onward?
No.
That movie is so great, and now you don't have a chance because all the movie theaters are closed. But I managed to snake in and catch it right before it.
AMC theaters, while they're closed, you can watch on demand.
Yeah,
new movies.
I heard that they're
allowing you to watch
thinking
movies.
that that company might not survive.
I think a lot of companies, real talk, I think a lot
Yeah.
of companies are not going to survive. I don't think,
Yeah.
I think JCPenney, this is me being hypothetical. It has nothing to do with me working there, but
This might be the straw that
yeah,
breaks camel's back.
I think that we limp along through 2020, and then by 2021, we've shuttered most of our stores because we're not going to make it. Our stock price is 40 cents.
Yeah, that's not good.
40.
AMC's dropped dramatically from like
Before
18 to like 2.
this COVID stuff, our stock price was only at like
Yeah.
85 cents. So our stock price was trash. We don't have a lot of liquidity.
Yeah, tons
So-
of debt.
Yeah. So I think you're going to see a lot of big and small businesses that don't make
Yeah.
it through this.
But
very unfortunate.
anyway, Onward is fantastic for all you fantasy lovers out there. See, and it's just a really heartwarming story. Like,
Question.
I cried. I
Is
cried.
it tame enough for a short person to watch?
a 5-year-old?
For a tiny human. Ooh, he's going to be 6 next week. 2 weeks. from
Yeah,
now.
no, I mean,
He's
it,
6.
I saw it with a 9-year-old,
Okay.
and
Well, let's be real. He doesn't sit and actually watch the TV.
Oh, well.
So-
I was just asking for
yeah, no, Onward is fantastic.
Okay, so apparently on CBS some years ago, there's a show called Gallivant.
Never heard of it.
It's
About
okay.
van life,
No,
Gala
think
van.
Oh, my God.
think about a musical, Robin Hood Men in Tights, but
I'm into it.
he's a knight, but he was in love, and she shunned him. So
I'm still
think
kind of...
Where can I watch this?
Yeah, I'm
it's
still
on
kind
Netflix.
of into this.
It's a musical. There's a lot
I
of singing.
like
Is it a movie
musicals.
or a
It's a TV show. It went 2 seasons. I watched like one episode. I looked at Tyler. I was like, "This didn't last very long, did it?" Because I was like, "This was on regular TV." He goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "It didn't last very long, did it?" He's like, "No, 2 seasons." But it's
honestly, I'm
musical.
surprised it made 2.
Yeah.
The way you're describing it, but
So,
I'm
no,
super into it, though.
Yeah,
It
no.
seems pretty cool. Like he's a knight and he's so awesome, and he's like. The girl falls in love with him, and he falls in love with the girl, but then she's kidnapped by the king. This is all in the first prelude musical. I'm
Right,
not spoiling
okay.
things for you. So she's kidnapped by the king, and oh no, I'm gonna go save the princess. And she's like, okay, but he's rich. So, okay, bye.
Oh!
savage.
Oh!
So
Savage.
Oh.
he's heart is broken, and then other shenanigans and things
Yeah.
happen. But it's a musical with knights and
Okay.
I really
got
like
time for this.
musicals.
I got time.
yeah,
For it. Yeah, I like a
you're
musical.
quarantined. It's 2 seasons. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's called Gallivant.
Going to cut into my Great British Baking Show time, but and Doctor Who
It's
time.
gonna
but
cut
it
into
could be
my
worth it.
Your Lie in April rewatch, but okay.
Be fine. It's 2 seasons. And I think it's only like 30, 45-minute episodes.
Yeah.
So,
I'll have to check
but
that
yeah.
out.
So it's
I mean, I'm in for one episode. Just check out the first episode.
yeah. Just go into it knowing this is a musical, essentially.
Hey, is there any music in this?
And some dance numbers.
Ooh.
Like some dance
Well, I mean, you
dances.
just keep mentioning it as if that's a negative.
It's a lot.
Okay. I mean,
Well,
Speaking of another show that's a lot. Do y'all like watching cringy TV?
no.
Okay.
Go ahead and tell the viewers.
Okay, so I like TV shows
Listeners.
that I can kind of get my cringe out.
Like
So,
early Office, yeah.
No, not just. Oh God.
Any scene with
Ugh.
Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the first season, it's terrible.
Scott's Tots. I cannot watch that episode.
Oh my god.
I cannot
It's-
No,
watch it.
I'm thinking more like 90 Day Fiance and Hoarders and My Strange Addiction.
That
where
just
you
makes
watch...
me sad. That doesn't cringe
No,
me.
it feeds my need.
I'm not so bad.
It feeds my need for drama, and also I'm fine. I'm fine. This is fine. My life is fine because I'm not
not
eating
that.
single ply toilet paper. I'm not putting baby powder on my fucking donuts. Okay, so My Strange Addiction, both of those
Yeah,
references.
yeah.
Okay, so I
Don't
like
they
watching.
know what?
Just not
The
stop,
person,
please.
Oh my
the
God,
person
no,
eating toilet
wait.
paper is
God.
probably
Wait,
struggling
so
right now.
the
Or
the baby powder lady though,
oh
she
my god.
she was coming out to her family that she eats makeup. Like she'll eat eyeshadow. She goes to her mama's house with her mama and her two sisters, and they're getting their donuts. And her mom's like, okay, I'll get the powder. And they sit around the table and they put baby powder on their donuts. And they have the audacity to be like, ew, girl, I can't believe you eat makeup. Like, motherfucker, you just put baby powder on your donuts. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyway, so if you like cringy kind of TV that brings out that, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm so glad it's not me. There's a show on Netflix called Haters Back Off that this girl has no idea that she's terribly untalented, but she's just very. I'm
That
gonna
sounds
be a
actually
movie.
pretty funny.
I'm gonna be. Oh,
Wait, is this scripted or not scripted?
It's scripted.
Okay.
Okay, so she's like, I'm going to be a YouTube star and that kind of thing, but she's untalented and has no concept, and her family is very much like, oh yeah, sweetie, it's fine. Except her one sister's like, you all are fucking terrible. I don't know.
Yeah.
Haters Back Off, if you like cringy TV. It was so cringy, I can't watch more than one at a time.
Yeah.
Because it brings up such like a,
Yeah. No.
okay, all right,
I would
I've
die.
gone off the rails.
I would die.
But yeah. Oh yeah, because you don't like that secondary embarrassment.
No, I can't.
Oh,
stand it.
yeah.
That's-
Well,
that
Bob's.
is all this show is.
I can't-
Just
I can't stand it.
secondary embarrassment, and like
No.
I kind of like it a little bit,
No, I can't.
but this it's so thick
I've got
with
to-
that embarrassment for someone else that it's almost painful.
Where I'm at in my life is
You embarrass enough.
I know
yourself
I
enough.
like the Great British Bake Show
Mm-hmm.
because they are so nice to each other.
and they're so chill.
Oh, isn't
and
that great?
calm.
Yeah.
I love watching anything someone is really passionate. Anybody doing something they're super passionate about.
Yeah.
I will listen to someone
Derek,
fucking
watch Great British Bake Show.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Zumbo's Just Desserts is nice too because they're pretty chill.
But
There's not a lot of like cutthroat shittiness.
Well, I just like.
God, that the bug-eyed guy,
Yeah.
the older guy, I did not like him at all.
I just didn't like Zumbo's timekeeping assistant. And it was because of her accent. This is because she was like South American, but she had taken
Did you notice she was pregnant?
No.
Yeah, she was
No,
pregnant.
not his adorable little A-lined dress assistant who ate the food with her. Like
Yeah.
Zumbo and whatever her cute girl's
Yeah.
name. Not her. The lady who sounded like cartoonishly German because she had a South American accent that became an Australian accent, and you put them together and it sounded very like cartoonish German. She was the timekeeper. She was like,
Was that in the
okay,
first
now you
season?
have 9 minutes.
That was in the first season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the first.
Okay, well, I've seen the first season. And his timekeeper lady, like, just her two accents that she has when they
Yeah.
layered up, I'm like, oh, I don't like it.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, but yes, baking shows.
Yeah.
Quarantine.
I just my thing is I really like anyone. So I've literally listened to someone break down the singing of like a really good like a vocal coach just explaining how someone is singing a certain way, and I'm just like, I don't really know what you're talking about, but you're so excited about this and you're describing like and
Yeah.
giving me examples. Like I can't do
Yeah.
that, but it's still super
Great
interesting.
British Bake Show, they're literally competing for a pie plate. That's it. That's all you win. All you win is a pie plate. This show, like, the highlight is if Paul Hollywood shakes your hand. They call it the Hollywood handshake. If you get a handshake from him, they, like, go home
Happy.
happy.
yeah, it's
Like, it's
there's not a lot of
heartwarming.
drama and bells and zing-zangs and drama to keep you
No.
in.
They have every
I
week,
don't like
they do
the
3
drama,
challenges.
so.
One, and here's the thing. These are not professional bakers. These are just people that like to bake.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
they just find out in Britain, and so the first and the last challenge of every week, they have a week to practice it. They tell them ahead, like, okay, this is what you're gonna be doing. you got to practice. So they spend all week practicing.
It's like a cookie,
Yeah,
and then they do like a cake or something.
Each week has a theme. So like it might be bread week. It's like, okay, well you got to make this bread, like a 3-layer bread thing that looks like a wedding cake, and that's the theme.
Make a stuffed bread or
yeah,
whatever.
Stuff like that. But the one in between is called the technical challenge, and it's like, here's a thing that you've never heard of. Make
Figure it
it.
out.
Here's the recipe, but the recipe will be like, okay, make your dough. And that'll be all it says.
Yeah.
Make your dough. Not how
Mix-
much flour.
Mix this cup and that cup and put it on for $3.50. It's like
all
make
the
your dough.
ingredients are provided and sitting there in front of them, and all the tools that they will need, and that's it. But it's like, okay, make your dough. Bake. Doesn't tell you what temperature.
Or
Doesn't
how
tell you
long.
for how long. Just bake.
So
And-
you have to figure it out.
and so
You
a lot of
kinda-
times,
well,
and a lot
it
of times
tests
it's
your
thing-
technical knowledge.
Oh,
Because if
okay,
you,
that's
if
good.
you
lot of
kind of know
times
what
it's-
you're doing with bread,
well,
you should
and
be
a
able
lot
to
of
figure it
times
out.
people won't have any ideas. Like, I've never heard of this before. I don't even know what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Can you
it's
imagine?
fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
it's good.
we've gone way off the
Baking
rails.
shows.
Look, the people that listen to this show listen to it
If,
because
if
we're
they're
awesome.
if they're in an hour and a half of where we're at right now, then yeah, they're probably like, okay, cool.
Ew.
No, they just love us. They like hearing our voices.
They've got
they
to be
like
here
hearing...
for us at this point.
Yeah.
Well, that's... Hi, guys. That's what you do as a podcast. You get people to buy into your brand, and your brand is you as people, not what you actually talk about. Everyone knows this. Tighten
No.
up.
I like my podcasts where they're all by a specific
Wrong.
topic where I can just go, I don't
Wrong.
care about these topics. I
Wrong.
want to listen to this topic.
Yeah.
Get on the topic.
I'm kind of more on your
have
side
all of your
this.
ads together so I can fast forward through all of your ads at once.
Yeah.
Nah. I listen to
that's me.
people that I don't really care about what they're talking about, talk about things just because I like them.
Okay. Well,
All right. Well,
this is welcome to the Derek podcast.
Yeah!
all right. On that note, we'll wrap it up.
See you next month.
Yeah, as you in the coming month, which will be April.
No fooling.
Don't
guys.
tell any lies. That's your lie in April.
I was just thinking, don't be fools.
May the blessing.
No, April, Bob.
April.
Don't touch.
Bitch!
Ooh, he just got
Social
denied on a high
distancing.
five. He just got left.
Fucking
hanging
wrap
on a
this
high
shit.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Books, Beards, Booze. Our co-hosts are Bob, Derek, and Tanya. Our producer is Bob. For more information, visit our website, booksbeardsbooze.com. Follow our social media at Tales by Bob. If you enjoyed this podcast, please rate, subscribe, and share. Okay, bye.